Well, it's been an incredibly painful past couple of days. I just figured I would make this post, and for anyone interested in the story behind why things are the way they are for Daphne over here. She had a couple of seizures last year around October, and that was truly terrifying. It was one of the scariest things I've ever seen. And, the vet that I took her to informed me that it was a common parasite for rabbits known as E. caniculi. After some testing, she was able to confirm that, and we did a round of antibiotics. There was a total of one big seizure and then one more smaller one in total, but we had already started the antibiotics, and after that everything seemed like there was no other episodes other than that. The only unfortunate thing was that she kind of lost the use of this front leg here. Or is it that front leg? Baby girl, which one? I can't tell. She's laying on the other leg. I think it's this one here that she would use to support her weight, and the other one she wouldn't really use to walk on. But as you could see from videos, that's pretty much how she's been getting around, is kind of making these swimming motions of moving around. And in one of my previous posts, I put a new rug in this room. Previously we just had these washable rugs from Amazon, and I thought, well, they're so low pile, let me get something fluffier. And I went ahead and got this one that another YouTuber had said they liked for their bunnies, and then I didn't realize it was going to be so flimsy. So lesson learned, not buying a rug from Amazon for that reason ever again. But I mean, it was maybe less than a week of this new rug, where all of a sudden, just in the course of 2 or 3 days over the weekend, I started noticing, more poop getting stuck behind one of her back legs, and hearing her sneezing. From now, what I can gather, it sounds like she would get up, go to take a drink, but not be able to balance herself, and lost balance, knocking her face into the water. And I just remember hearing her sneezing like water violently, and I was like, what is going on? So I would always come in and I'd never see anything different, but now it's gotten to this point where she can't stand up anymore. And I have pulled my hair out, I've cried, I spontaneously found a 3D printed harness for rabbits and ordered one. My boyfriend thinks maybe it's not the best idea to put her in one because those, wheelchairs for pets were originally designed for dogs. like dachshunds who are known to have spinal problems, and they're able to get around with them just fine. But in the case of rabbits, who have much more sensitive skeletal structures, it's not advisable to use that as a permanent fix and put them in a harness for long periods of time. So I don't know what I'm going to do with that. I'm going to call my vet tomorrow and explain the situation, because last night, I kid you not, I cried myself to sleep when I realized that she, was having such difficulty. I went out thinking, oh, I'm buying a shallower bowl. She'll be able to reach that without, falling in and sneezing. And then I realized she couldn't even stand. So I felt terrible that I would go to work or that I would be asleep and she would starve or not be able to drink. And so I fed her maybe 3, big syringefuls like this of water. I made critical care in a bowl. I let her eat it until she was no longer interested. And then I held out a spoonful of it to her. And then she just kind of hobbled off and would hide under this chair last night. And I was so sad, you guys. I was just heartbroken because I don't want to force her to, do these things if she doesn't want to do them. But today, I put my yoga mat down with my towel, because before I just had a towel in here, and now I'm like, oh my god, I'm such an idiot. I have one of these. This would be so much better. So we have this. She was able to drink from laying down. I am not really worried about, I put pellets right here in the bowl for the boys, but I wanted her to be able to reach them. So she was laying over there and somehow she's kind of hobbled over here. I think what she does is once she's kind of done with eating or drinking, she makes a point of moving away from them, maybe just to get some space. I don't know. Oh, she's so beautiful. I hate that this is happening. Such a pretty bunny, and in so much pain. I can hear her grinding her teeth. So yeah, after the, appointments we had last year, we finished the antibiotics, and the last thing that the vet said was if, we wanted to take the extra step and go get a CAT scan done, we could. And I'm thinking, what is the point in that if we already know that you're not going to give her another round of antibiotics? I don't know. I'm not a doctor. I'm not a professional. I don't know if maybe seeing on a CAT scan that the parasite had spread would indicate to them like, oh, let's go ahead and perform surgery on her. It doesn't sound like there's any surgery for rabbits' spines like this, from at least the way my vet has made it out to sound. I went to another vet who gave me meloxicam, which is a painkiller or anti-inflammatory for bunnies. We've used it after they would have like their spay or neuter procedures. And she, marked a little syringe for me to give her this much. And that seems to help. So I will continue to do that. But basically, that was probably beginning of this year, those conversations with the vets, and like, okay, what do I do? She's not really using her front leg. You can give her you can get her a CAT scan. You can try acupuncture for hundreds of dollars per session for a total of 6 sessions, but there's no guarantee that they'll work. And I thought, okay, maybe she'll just walk around with a splayed leg, because I have seen other bunnies do it. And now here we are, mid-June, and she has lost so much muscle mass and now isn't really able to use her back legs. My baby girl. But she still gets all excited for treats, and I think she still likes pets and attention and all that, because she still licks me when I hold her or, stick my hand out. Daphne, where are you going? Where are you going? Oh, you're eating. Okay. She's eating. That's good. She still likes when I scratch her spot, I think. Ugh, your spot that's got stuff stuck in it. We need to clean that. Ugh. The only reason I'm not breaking down right now is because I've already gotten a good cry in before recording this. Where are you going now? Where are you going? I only pulled 2 hairs. I'm sorry. I won't do that anymore. That probably hurts. But here, whoops. Here is what I'm talking about. The back of her foot. That is pretty dried on there, that one piece. I'll have to get like a warm cloth or something to get that off. So, yeah. It's very hard. It's, honest to God, one of the hardest things I've had to witness. And I have lost 2 bunnies to stasis before, but, that was very sudden and happened within like a day of knowing that something was wrong. So I didn't really have time to react. And this was when I was very, very new to owning bunnies, and it was probably like a year, less than a year of having them. But this is the first time where it's been, oh, an illness. Okay, let's nip it in the bud, take the prescription, and hope that it's okay and that it's resolved. And it just seems to have gotten worse for her nervous system. But she's still eating and drinking, which has to be a good sign. Rudy. He's still very protective of her. He grooms her. I saw while I was at work my little baby cam in here. I was, checking in to make sure she was still doing her thing, moving around. She seemed to be sleeping in this spot around here. But, yeah. The not having use of her back legs, it's literally been the past couple of days. So you guys are hearing about this after I've had a minute to process it, and yeah, it is not fun, not really knowing what to expect, but ultimately, what more can we do? We'll call the vet and see what their opinion is about the harness I ordered, if it's safe to use, and if so, how long, maybe in a few minute sessions. And yeah.